The battlefield was quiet now. Too quiet. Corporal Woojin Kim walked slowly through the mud and smoke, his medical bag heavy on his shoulder. The battle had ended 3 hours ago, but the work was far from over. Bodies lay everywhere. Some were human. Some were alien. All were silent. Clear on the left side, Private Hana Lee called out from ahead. She was the scout, always a few steps in front, always watching. Her rifle was ready, but her eyes were tired. They had been searching for survivors for hours now. Woojin nodded and moved forward. His boots made soft sounds in the ash. The planet Cathara VII had been beautiful once, he heard. Now, it was just another war zone. Another place where different species came to kill each other over territory nobody really needed. The Verlaxian Empire had attacked first. Then the Torvan Collective joined in. Finally, the human coalition came to push them both back. Hundreds died. Maybe thousands. And, for what? Woojin stopped asking that question a long time ago. Now he just tried to save whoever he could. Hey, Woojin! Hana's voice cut through his thoughts. Woojin jogged toward her position. Hana stood at the edge of a massive hole in the ground. Plasma fire had carved it out during the battle. Inside were at least a dozen dead Verlaxian soldiers, their gray skin covered in dust and blood. Where? Woojin asked. Hana pointed down. There, behind that overturned tank. Woojin saw it then. Something large. Something breathing. He pulled out his scanner and checked. The readings made him pause. It was big. Very big. And definitely alive. Could be a trap, Hana said quietly. Her finger moved closer to her rifle trigger. Could be, Woojin agreed. But he was already climbing down into the crater. He had to know. He had to check. As he got closer, he could see it better. His breath caught in his throat. It was a battle hound. He had seen pictures in briefings, but never one up close. The creature was massive, easily 8 feet tall, even lying down. It had 6 legs, each ending in claws that could tear through metal. Its body was covered in thick scales that looked like armor. Some scales were black, others dark blue. But this one was dying. Plasma burns covered its left side. Shrapnel stuck out from its shoulder and back leg. One of its eyes was swollen shut. The other eye, amber-colored and bright, stared at Woojin. In that eye, Woojin saw something he did not expect. Pain, yes, but also intelligence, understanding, and something worse, betrayal. Careful, Hana called from above. Those things are trained killers. Woojin knew that. Battle hounds were the Verlaxian Empire's most feared weapons. They were strong, fast, and deadly. Each one was worth 100 normal soldiers. But looking at this creature now, all Woojin saw was a wounded soldier left behind to die. The hound tried to growl. The sound was weak, wet. Blood bubbled from its mouth. It tried to raise its head, but failed. Still, its amber eye never left Woojin. Easy, Woojin said softly. He moved slow, keeping his hands visible. I'm a medic. I help hurt people. Hurt creatures. I'm not going to harm you. The hound's eye narrowed. It did not trust him. Why would it? Humans and Verlaxians were enemies, but it was too weak to fight, too weak to run. It could only watch as Woojin came closer. Woojin's radio crackled. Corporal Kim, what's your status? It was Captain Taeyang Park, his commanding officer. Found a survivor, sir, Woojin replied. Human? No, sir. Verlaxian battlehound, badly wounded. There was a long pause. Then, leave it. Those creatures are dangerous even when dying. Plus, it's enemy property. Not our problem. Woojin looked at the hound. Its breathing was getting weaker. Minutes. Maybe. That's all it had left. Sir, with respect, I didn't become a medic to decide who deserves help based on what species they are. Another pause. Longer this time. Corporal, That thing is a weapon, not a person. The Verlaxians breed them to kill. They're tools, nothing more. Then why did they leave it behind? Wujin asked. He was looking at the crater now, at all the dead Verlaxian soldiers. They took their dead, sir. I can see drag marks. They removed their fallen. But they left this one, because it's too wounded to be useful, Taeyang said. His voice was tired. That's how they operate. Damaged equipment gets abandoned. It's not equipment, Wujin said quietly. It's a soldier, just like us. Corporal Kim, I'm treating it, sir. Wujin cut off his captain. Something he never did. Mark it in your report. This is my choice. Mine alone. He turned off his radio before Taeyang could respond. Hana was staring at him like he had gone crazy. Maybe he had. Wujin knelt beside the hound. Up close, he could see more details. Scars. Hundreds of them. This creature had been in many battles. The scales around its neck were different too. Lighter colored, newer, like they grew in after something had been removed. I'm going to help you, Wujin said. He opened his medical bag. This will hurt. I'm sorry, but it's better than dying alone in a hole. The hound's amber eye watched him. Then, slowly, it stopped growling. Its head lowered back to the ground. Not an attack, not a surrender either. Something else. Permission. Wujin got to work. He cleaned the plasma burns as best he could. He pulled out the shrapnel pieces carefully. Each piece made the hound shake, but it never tried to bite him. Never tried to attack. It just endured the pain silently. Hana climbed down to help. Together, they worked for 30 minutes. They used 3 medical kits. Wujin knew he would have to explain that to supply officers later. He did not care. Finally, the bleeding stopped. The hound's breathing got a little stronger. Its amber eye was still open. Still watching. We need to move it, Hana said. More patrols will come through here. How? It weighs half a ton at least. We call for a transport drone. Tell them it's salvage. Wujin looked at her. Hana shrugged. You're my medic. You patch me up when I get shot. Figure I owe you. Plus, she looked at the hound. It seems wrong, leaving something to die just because it's on the wrong side. Together, they called for transport. They told the drone operator it was important Verlaxian technology. Not exactly a lie. While they waited, Wujin sat beside the hound. I don't know if you understand me, he said quietly. But soldiers don't leave their own behind. That's our rule, our code. You're a soldier, so you're coming with us. The hound's amber eye closed slowly, then opened again. If Wujin did not know better, he would say, it looked grateful. The transport drone arrived. They loaded the massive creature carefully. As they flew back to base, Wujin wondered what he had just started. He had broken direct orders. He had used medical supplies on an enemy combatant. He had risked his career, but looking at the hound, still breathing, still alive, he knew he would do it again. Some things were more important than orders. Some things defined who you were. And Wujin Kim was someone who did not leave soldiers behind to die alone. The abandoned supply depot smelled like dust and old metal. It was perfect. Far enough from the main base that nobody came here. Close enough that Wujin could visit without raising suspicion. He and Hana had moved the battlehound here under cover of darkness. That was 2 days ago. Since then, Wujin had been stealing medical supplies and sneaking away whenever he could. The hound was stable now. The wounds were healing, though it would take weeks before it could walk properly. You need to eat, Wujin said. He had brought protein packs meant for human soldiers. He had no idea if the hound could digest them, but it was better than nothing. The hound's amber eyes watched him. Both eyes were open now, the swelling gone. It sniffed the food, then took it gently from Wujin's hand. The teeth were as long as knives, but the hound was careful not to bite him. I'm calling you Ghost, Hana said. She was standing guard by the door. The hound's ears twitched at the name. Did it understand? Woojin was not sure. The door slammed open. Captain Taeyang Park stood in the entrance, his face dark with anger. I knew it. I knew you two would pull something like this. Woojin stood up quickly. Sir, I can explain. Explain? Taeyang's voice was sharp. You disobeyed a direct order. You stole military supplies. You're hiding an enemy combatant. Do you understand what this means? I could have you both court-martialed. Yes, sir. Woojin said quietly. Taeyang walked closer to the hound. Ghost tensed, a low rumble coming from its chest. But it did not attack. It just watched. It should be put down, Taeyang said. That's protocol. Enemy combatants, who cannot be secured properly, are to be euthanized. No. The word came out before Woojin could stop it. Taeyang turned to him slowly. That was not a suggestion, Corporal. With respect, sir, I won't do it. The two men stared at each other. Finally, Taeyang sighed. Lieutenant Choi, get in here. Lieutenant Jia Choi entered the depot. She was the medical officer, Woojin's direct superior. She looked at the hound with professional interest, rather than fear. Examine it, Taeyang ordered. Jia approached carefully. She pulled out her medical scanner. For several minutes, she ran tests, checking vital signs, scanning internal structures. The hound let her, though its eyes never stopped watching. Finally, Jia stepped back. Captain, you need to see this. She pulled up the scanner display. Taeyang looked, then frowned. What am I looking at? Neural implants, Jia said. Dozens of them, embedded throughout the brain and nervous system. For what purpose? From what I can tell, Jia's voice was cold. Pain. These implants deliver constant electric shocks, low level, enough to cause discomfort. But when activated fully, they would cause agony. Woojin felt sick. They torture it? Torture, control, force compliance. Jia looked at Ghost with something like pity. This creature has been in pain every single moment of its life. The implants also have chemical dispensers. They pump aggression hormones directly into the bloodstream. So, it's forced to be aggressive? Hana asked. Exactly. This battlehound was never naturally violent. It was made that way, tortured into it. Taeyang was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, Can you remove the implants? Some of them. The ones in the spine and major nerves? Yes. The ones deep in the brain? Too risky. But I can deactivate them. The ones deep in the clam? The ones deep in the promise? Do it. Jia looked surprised. Sir, if what you're saying is true, then this creature is not a weapon. It's a prisoner of war. A victim. Taeyang looked at Ghost. We treat prisoners humanely. That's what separates us from the Verlaxians. Over the next 3 hours, Jia worked carefully. She removed what implants she could and shut down the rest. Ghost shook and whined during the procedure, but Woojin stayed beside it, talking softly, keeping it calm. When it was over, the change was immediate. Ghost's entire body relaxed. The tension that had been there, the constant alertness, it faded. For the first time, the creature looked at peace. How do you feel? Woojin asked, not expecting an answer. Ghost's eyes closed. Then, it did something strange. It moved its massive head and rested it on Woojin's lap. The weight was enormous, but Woojin did not push it away. I think that's a thank you, Hana said softly. The next day, communications specialist Da-Un Song arrived at the depot. She was young, barely 26, but brilliant with technology. She carried a portable computer and several data drives. Captain Park sent me, she explained. Said you needed information on battlehounds. What did you find? Taeyang asked. He had stayed at the depot, partially to guard the secret, partially to understand what they were dealing with. Da-un plugged her computer into the depot's old display screen. I hacked some captured Verlaxian databases. Took a while to crack the encryption. What I found is disturbing. She brought up files, documents, videos, all about battle hounds. They're not animals, Da-un said. They're sentient. As intelligent as humans. Maybe more. The Verlaxians breed them in artificial wombs. From birth, they're kept in pain, trained through torture, conditioned to obey. That's slavery, Hana said. Worse. Because the galaxy doesn't recognize them as people. They're classified as weapons. Property. They have no rights. Da-un brought up another file. But here's something interesting. According to Verlaxian military law, any battle hound that survives 50 battles earns its freedom. It's an old law, from centuries ago. Most people forgot about it because battle hounds rarely survive 50 battles. How many has Ghost survived? Wu Jin asked. Da-un checked the creature's identification scars. Each scar represented a battle. She counted carefully. 73. The room went silent. Ghost earned its freedom, Taeyang said slowly. That's why they left it to die. They abandoned it to avoid paying what they owed. That's illegal even by their own laws, Jia added. Ghost was watching them. Could it understand? Wu Jin moved closer and looked into those amber eyes. Did you know that you earned your freedom? Ghost's head tilted slightly. Then it made a sound. Not a growl. Something different. Almost like speech. But in a language humans could not speak. We need a translator, Da-un said. She pulled out a small device. This is experimental. Designed for first contact situations. It learns languages through pattern recognition. If Ghost tries to communicate, this should eventually figure it out. She attached the device to Ghost's neck. The hound did not resist. For the rest of the day, they stayed with Ghost. They brought better food. Fresh water. Clean bedding. Small comforts the creature had probably never known. As night fell, Wu Jin sat beside Ghost. The hound was stronger now. It could lift its head, move its legs a bit. Healing was happening. I'm sorry, Wu Jin said quietly, for what they did to you. For how you were treated. You deserved better. Ghost looked at him. Then, through the translator, a mechanical voice spoke. It was rough, broken, but understandable. Why? Help. Wu Jin's heart jumped. Because it's right. Because you're a thinking being. You feel pain. You understand. That makes you a person, not a thing. Ghost was quiet for a long moment. Verlaxians. My makers. They say, damaged tools are trash. Dispose. Expected death. Humans don't think like that. Why? Wu Jin thought about how to explain. Because we believe everyone has value. Everyone deserves a chance. And because... He paused. Because leaving someone to die alone when we can help? That's not who we want to be. Ghost's eyes gleamed in the darkness. All species. Leave wounded. Efficient. Logical. Maybe. But we're not always logical. Sometimes we're stupid. Sometimes we help when it costs us. When it's difficult. When everyone says we shouldn't. Wu Jin smiled slightly. Humans are stubborn that way. The translator was silent. Then Ghost spoke again. Thank you. Those 2 words, simple and quiet, made everything worth it. Ghost closed its eyes and slept. For the first time in its life, it slept without pain. And Wu Jin stayed beside it, keeping watch, making sure this time, this soldier would not be left behind. 2 weeks had passed. Ghost could walk now, though with a limp. The wounds were healing well. Better than anyone expected. But the real change was not physical. Ghost talked more each day. The translator device had learned its language patterns. Now conversations happened, real ones. And what Wu Jin learned broke his heart. We are born in tanks, Ghost explained one evening. Woojin, Hana, and Da-eun sat listening. Never see parents. Never know family. Just wake up. In pain. Always pain. The implants, Woojin said. Yes. From first moment of awareness. Pain teaches obedience. Pain teaches we are nothing. Just tools. For makers. Hana clenched her fists. That's monstrous. Ghost's head tilted. Is normal. For us. Knew no different. The Hound paused. Others like me. Many others. We fight together. Die together. When one becomes too damaged, makers dispose. Take body for parts. Use organs for new hounds. Nothing wasted. When one becomes too damaged, what happened to the others you knew? Da-eun asked gently. Most dead. Some still fight. One. Ghost's voice, even through the mechanical translator, sounded sad. One named Sharp Fang. My sibling from same tank group. Last battle, Sharp Fang took plasma blast meant for Maker. Saved Maker's life. Maker shot Sharp Fang after. Said Sharp Fang too damaged. Wasted resources. The humans were silent. What could anyone say to that? That's why I not understand. Ghost continued. Why you save me? Why you help? Makes no sense. Am enemy. Am damaged. Am useless. Should be disposed. Woojin moved closer. You're not useless. You're a person. A thinking, feeling person. That's enough. Ghost's amber eyes studied him. Person. Strange word. Never called that before. A new voice interrupted. Well, you better get used to it. Everyone turned. A man in a civilian jacket entered the depot. He was older, maybe 40, with gray hair and excited eyes. He carried several cases of equipment. Who are you? Tae-young demanded, stepping forward protectively. Hyun-woo Nam. Xenobiologist. Captain Park called me in to study your friend here. He approached Ghost without fear. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. First contact with a new sentient species. Not new, Ghost said. Old. Very old. Hyun-woo froze. It talks. You didn't mention it talks. Captain. Recent development, Tae-young said. For the next several hours, Hyun-woo examined Ghost. Not like a doctor examining a patient. More like a scientist meeting an equal. He asked questions. Listened carefully. Recorded everything. Your species is ancient, Hyun-woo said, reading data. Genetically speaking, the Verlaxians have been breeding you for maybe 2,000 years. But your base species existed long before that. We had world once, Ghost said quietly. Home world. Makers came, took us, changed us, made us into this. Ghost gestured at its own body. We forgot original name, forgot home. Only remember being this. Do you want to remember? Hyun-woo asked. Ghost thought for a long moment. Yes. But also, afraid. What if original us would hate what we became? Change doesn't erase what came before, Hyun-woo said gently. It just means you survived. Over the following days, Ghost grew stronger. It could walk normally now. Move with that strange, silent grace that earned its name. The depot became almost comfortable, though everyone knew this could not last. Sergeant Yunabe arrived one afternoon. She was infantry, tough as nails, and clearly angry. This is what we're wasting resources on? She snapped. An enemy weapon? While my soldiers go without proper supplies? This is a person, Woojin said, firmly. It's a thing that killed humans. Probably killed people I knew. Ghost's head lowered. True, killed many, forced to. But yes, killed. Yuna blinked, surprised it could speak. You admit it? Cannot deny truth. Was made to kill. Did kill. Hated every moment. But had no choice. Ghost looked at her. If could change past. Would. But cannot. Can only be different now. Something in Yuna's expression shifted. You hated it? Killing? Every time. Every battle. Maker's implants forced aggression. Forced obedience. But inside? Ghost's voice dropped. Inside. Screamed. Begged to stop. Never stopped. Yuna was quiet. Then she sat down heavily. I lost friends in the last battle. Good people. Trom. Am sorry, Ghost said simply. Yeah. Well. So am I. Yuna looked at the creature. Really looked. You really had no choice? None. Until humans removed implants. First time ever had choice. Chose not to kill. Chose to be different. Days became weeks. Word spread through the base about the project. Some soldiers came to see Ghost. Some were afraid. Others were curious. A few were angry, like Yuna had been. But Ghost met them all with patience and honesty. One day, something happened that changed everything. A storage shelf collapsed. Old, rusted bolts gave way. Yuna was standing beneath it, checking inventory. Tons of metal and supplies came crashing down. Ghost moved faster than thought. One moment it was across the depot. The next, it was there. Its massive body covering Yuna. The debris crashed onto Ghost's back and sides. The hound grunted in pain but did not move. When the dust settled, Yuna was unharmed. Ghost had taken the full impact. Why? Yuna asked, shocked. Why did you save me? I was cruel to you. Ghost carefully moved off her. New cuts marked its scales. Because you are Pack. All here are Pack. Pack protects Pack. I'm not your Pack, Yuna said, but her voice was uncertain. You stayed. Could have left. Could have reported. Stayed instead. That makes you Pack. From that day, Yuna became one of Ghost's strongest defenders. She brought her whole squad to meet the Hound. Tough soldiers sat and talked with Ghost about battles, losses, and what it meant to be a soldier. One evening, Woojin found Ghost, looking at the stars through a crack in the depot roof. What are you thinking about? He asked. Freedom, Ghost said. Daun said I earned it. 73 battles. Verlaxian law says should be free. But makers left me to die instead. They broke their own law. Yes. But now, what is freedom? Where do I go? What do I become? Ghost looked at Woojin. Was always told what to do. Where to fight. Who to kill. Now. No orders. Just possibility. Is terrifying. Woojin sat beside the massive creature. Freedom is terrifying. For everyone. It means choosing. Making mistakes. Finding your own path. What if I choose wrong? Then you choose again. That's what makes us people, Ghost. Not getting everything right, but getting to try. Getting to be more than what others made us. Ghost was quiet. Then it said, want to stay. With humans. With Pack. Is that allowed? I don't know, Woojin admitted. That's not my choice to make. But I'll fight for it. We all will. Why fight for me? 'Cause you trouble. Risk your careers. Risk safety. Woojin smiled. Because you're one of us now. And humans have this really annoying habit. When someone tries to tell us we can't help someone, can't save someone, can't change something, we get stubborn, we fight harder. Ghost's head tilted. Humans are strange. Yeah, we really are. They sat together in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Neither of them knew that everything was about to change. That forces were moving. That Ghost's former makers were coming. But for that moment, they had peace. A former weapon and a stubborn medic. looking at the same stars and dreaming of the same thing. A future where both could be free. The message came at dawn. Colonel Han Sol-kwon read it 3 times in his office. Then he called an emergency meeting. Everyone involved with Ghost was ordered to attend. Woo-jin, Hana, Tae-yang, Ji-ah, Da-eun, Hyun-woo, and Yuna gathered in the command center. The Vralaxian Empire knows, Han Sol said without introduction. They know we have one of their battle hounds. They're demanding its immediate return. How did they find out? Tae-yang asked. Does it matter? They know. And they're threatening sanctions against the coalition. If we don't comply, we can't give Ghost back, Woo-jin said firmly. They'll kill it. Probably, Han Sol agreed. His face was tired, lined with stress. But I'm a soldier. I follow orders. And Coalition Command is putting pressure on me to end this situation quietly. Ghost earned freedom under their own law, Da-eun said. We have proof. I found it in their database. The Vralaxians claim that law is outdated. No longer enforced. That's convenient, Yuna snapped. Han Sol sighed. I don't like this either. But we're talking about political consequences, trade agreements, military alliances. One creature's life against the stability of the region. One person's life. Woo-jin corrected. The Vralaxians don't see it that way. Then they're wrong. The room fell silent. Finally, Han Sol said, Ghost needs to leave. Tonight. Quietly. If it's gone, this whole problem goes away. That evening, Woo-jin went to tell Ghost. He found the Hound in the depot. As always. But Ghost was already packing the few belongings it had gathered. You heard, Woo-jin said. Heard yelling from command center, Ghost said. Walls are thin. You don't have to go. We can fight this. No. Ghost's voice was firm. We'll go. We'll not let Pac suffer for me. You taught me about sacrifice. About protecting Pac. Now is my turn. Ghost, listen. No. You listen. Ghost turned to face him. You saved me. Gave me life. Gave me freedom. Gave me Pac. First time ever had these things. Will not repay by bringing danger. We don't want you to go. I know. Makes choice harder. But is right choice. Ghost moved toward the door. We'll leave tonight. Go far away. Vralaxians will not find. Problem solved. Woo-jin stood in the doorway. I won't let you. Cannot stop me. Then I'll come with you. Ghost stopped. That is foolish. Probably. But that's what Pac does, right? Stays together? Before Ghost could answer, the depot door opened. Hana walked in. Then Yuna. Then Tae-yang. Then Ji-ah. Da-eun. Hyun-woo. Even soldiers Ghost had barely spoken to. Dozens of them. They formed a line between Ghost and the exit. What is this? Ghost asked. We talked, Yuna said. All of us. And we decided something. You're not leaving, but will cause trouble. Let it, Hana interrupted. We're good at trouble. Intelligence Officer Jin-woo Park pushed through the crowd. He was breathing hard, like he had been running. Wait. Everyone wait. I found something. He pulled up his datapad. I've been digging deeper into Vralaxian law. The Freedom Law? It's not outdated. It's still active. I found current cases. 3 battle hounds in the last decade were granted freedom after 50 battles. So they lied, Tae-yang said. Worse. I cross-referenced Ghost's identification codes with casualty reports. The Vralaxians marked Ghost as killed in action the day before they abandoned it. Officially, Ghost is already dead. Why would they do that? Da-eun asked. To avoid paying the freedom they owed. Ghost was due for official retirement. Instead, they falsified death reports and left it to die. That's not just breaking their law. That's criminal fraud. Han Sol appeared in the doorway. I heard everything. Jin-woo, how solid is this evidence? Very solid, sir. I have documentation. Battle records. Everything. The colonel was quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. It was not a kind smile. The Verlaxians made a mistake. They tried to play games with us. Now we play back. That night, Han Solo sent an official response to the Verlaxian Empire. He did not mince words. The message laid out everything. The evidence. The fraud. The violation of their own laws. And it ended with a simple statement. Ghost was claiming political asylum with the human coalition. The response came fast. Not a message. A threat. 3 days later, Verlaxian ships entered orbit. Soldiers deployed. They did not ask permission. They came to take what they claimed was theirs. The base went on alert. Humans prepared for a fight, but orders from Coalition Command were clear. Avoid direct conflict if possible. This was a political situation, not a military one. The Verlaxian strike team entered the base. 20 soldiers, heavily armed. Their commander was older, covered in scars, eyes cold as ice. "We are here for our property," he announced. "We have no property of yours," Han Solo replied calmly. "Battlehound. Designation 73 Cathara. Return it now." "You mean Ghost? The person who earned legal freedom under your own laws? The one you tried to murder?" The Verlaxian commander's face showed no emotion. "A tool cannot earn freedom. The law is outdated tradition. We are reclaiming our weapon." "Then you'll have to go through us," Wu Jin said. He was not alone. Every human soldier on base had gathered. Hundreds of them. They formed ranks between the Verlaxians and the depot where Ghost waited. At the front stood Wu Jin, Hana, Taeyang, and Ghost itself. The massive hound stood on 4 legs, head high, no longer looking wounded or weak. It looked like what it was. A warrior, but it made no aggressive moves. Just stood there, calm and ready. "This is foolish," the Verlaxian commander said. "You would risk war for a slave creature? We would risk war for a person," Taeyang answered. "For a soldier who earned freedom and was betrayed. That's what honor means. Something you've forgotten. We have superior numbers, superior firepower." "Maybe," Yuna said. "But you'll have to kill all of us to get to Ghost. Are you ready for that? Is one escaped slave worth that many deaths?" The Verlaxian commander studied them. His eyes moved across the human lines. So many of them. All armed. All determined. All willing to fight. Behind them, Ghost spoke. The translator carried its voice clearly. "I will go. Will not let Pac die for me." "No," Wu Jin said without turning around. "We talked about this. You're staying, but this soldier has earned its freedom by your own laws," Han Solo interrupted, addressing the Verlaxian commander. "It has also earned our protection by our own values. Coalition reinforcements are 3 hours away. Heavy cruisers. Full battle groups. They're coming. Because we asked them to. Because this matters." The Verlaxian commander's hand moved to his weapon. Human soldiers tensed. For a moment, everything balanced on a knife's edge. Then the commander paused. He looked at Ghost. Really looked. And something changed in his expression. Not sympathy, but recognition. He saw something. "You fought at Kelrus IV, he said to Ghost. "Yes," Ghost answered. "I was there. Saw you hold position against Torvan assault. 40 soldiers. You held them alone for 6 hours while we evacuated. Saved 300 Verlaxian lives. Was my duty." "Duty." The commander laughed bitterly. "Duty we repaid by leaving you to rot." He looked at his soldiers. Then at the humans. Then back at Ghost. "This is not worth dying for," he said finally. "We came for a weapon. But I see a soldier. One who served honorably. More honorably than we treated it." "Commander." One of his soldiers started to protest. Silence. The commander straightened. "Battlehound designation 73 Cathara. By authority of combat action and verified service record, I acknowledge your earned freedom." I acknowledge we wronged you. And I acknowledge that humans, he looked at Wu Jin, humans have more honor than my empire showed. He turned to leave, his soldiers following confused. Wait, Ghost called. Why? Why acknowledge this now? The Verlaxian commander stopped at the door. Because I am old. I have fought too many battles. And I am tired of watching honor die. He looked back one last time. Perhaps humans are right. Perhaps there are things more important than empires and property. Perhaps. They left. The threat was gone. For now, Ghost stood silent for a long moment. Then its legs gave out. Not from injury. From emotion. Wu Jin was there immediately, supporting the massive creature. Is over? Ghost asked quietly. For now, Han Sol said. The Verlaxians might try again. But we'll be ready. You're one of us now. Ghost. And humans protect their own. Around them, soldiers cheered. They had stood for something. They had chosen honor over expedience. They had refused to abandon one of their own. And Ghost, for the first time in its life, was truly free. 6 months had passed since the standoff. The galaxy had changed in ways nobody expected. News traveled fast. The story of humans standing against the Verlaxian Empire for one abandoned battlehound spread to every corner of known space. Some species thought humans were foolish. Others thought they were naive. But many thought they were something else entirely. Brave. Ghost stood in the diplomatic shuttle, looking out at the stars. Wu Jin stood beside it. Now officially assigned as Ghost's liaison officer. The promotion had been unexpected, but welcome. Nervous? Wu Jin asked. Yes. Ghost admitted. What if they do not trust me? What if they see me, as you saw me first? As weapon? Then we change their minds. Together, the shuttle was heading to a neutral station. There, representatives from 15 different species waited. And there, something impossible was about to happen. When they arrived, the station was crowded. News crews from a dozen worlds. Diplomats, scientists, curious citizens. All came to see the battlehound that changed everything. Ghost walked through the corridors with dignity. No longer limping. No longer wounded. Strong and graceful. But also gentle. That surprised people most. A creature bred for war, moving with care and kindness. The meeting chamber was vast. At the center stood Ghost. Around it, gathered like a strange jury, were other battlehounds. 7 of them. They had come from different parts of the galaxy. Some had escaped. Others had been freed. All had heard about Ghost. One stepped forward, younger than Ghost, with silver scales instead of black. You are the one, it said through a translator. The one humans saved. Yes, Ghost answered. Why? Why did they save you? Ghost thought about how to answer. Then it said simply, because they believe all thinking beings have value. Not because of what we are, because of who we are. Another battlehound, old and scarred, spoke. We have been tools for so long. Property, weapons. How do we become something else? By choosing, Ghost said. By deciding who we want to be, not who we were made to be. Is hard, a third hound said. To forget, to forgive ourselves for what we did. Yes, Ghost agreed. Very hard. May never fully forget, but can choose to be different now. Can choose to build instead of destroy. From the observation deck, Hana watched with Daun and Yuna. The 3 women had become close friends over the months. All promoted. All recognized for their role in the Ghost incident. It's really happening, Hana said quietly. Ghost is starting a movement. Daun nodded. I've been tracking the numbers. 63 battlehounds have deserted from Verlaxian service in the last 3 months. More are refusing to fight. The Empire's entire military strategy is collapsing. Good, Yuna said. Firmly. Yuna said firmly. In the chamber, Ghost continued talking with its kind. They shared stories, memories, pain, but also hope. For the first time, battle hounds were gathering not as weapons, but as people. As a community, one young hound asked, "What do we call ourselves? We have no name. Just battle hound." Which is what they called us, Ghost thought. Then it said, "Some humans call me Ghost. Not because I am invisible. Because I survived when should have died. Because I am proof that we can be more than what they made us." The old scarred hound spoke again. "Then we are all ghosts. All survivors. All proof." And so it was decided. They called themselves the Ghost Legion. Not a military unit. A family. A community of survivors, helping each other become who they truly were. Later, Ghost met with human coalition leaders. Among them was someone Ghost never expected to see again. The Verlaxian commander, who had let Ghost go. "Why are you here?" Ghost asked. "I defected," the commander said simply. "After our encounter, I could not unsee what I saw. Could not return to serving an empire built on slavery." He looked at Ghost directly. "I came to apologize. For my part in your suffering. For every battle hound I commanded. For every order I gave that caused pain." Ghost studied him for a long moment. "Apology accepted. But now, what will you do?" "Help," the commander said. "I know Verlaxian tactics. I know how they think. I can help the Ghost Legion understand their former masters. Help them truly be free." It was a start. Over the following weeks, more species joined the coalition. Not for military power. Not for trade benefits. But because they saw something in humanity they wanted to be part of. A willingness to stand for what was right, even when difficult. One evening, Wujin found Ghost alone on an observation deck. The massive creature was watching a planet below. Green and blue. Beautiful. "That's the planet we're negotiating for," Wujin said. "For the Ghost Legion. Your own world. Where your people can build a society. Your own rules. Your own future." "Is too much," Ghost said quietly. "Is it? We were slaves. Tools. Now, we might have a world? A home? Seems like dream. Dreams are good," Wujin said. "They give us something to work toward." Ghost was quiet. Then it asked, "Will you visit? When we have world? When we build? Home. Of course. Your pack. Pack stays connected. Pack," Ghost repeated. Strange concept. But good concept. Before humans, had no pack. Just orders. Just pain. Now. Ghost looked at Wujin. Now have family. Have purpose. They stood together, watching the planet that might become the Ghost Legion's home. Months turned into a year. The transformation was remarkable. The Ghost Legion established a colony on the world they named Sanctuary. Battle hounds from across the galaxy migrated there. Some came broken and traumatized. Others came angry and lost. But all found something they never had before: choice. Hyunwoo stayed to help them understand their own biology. Jia trained Ghost Legion medics to heal without the pain they once knew. Taeyang taught military tactics to those who wanted to defend their new home. But defense only, never conquest. Hana and Da-un established communication networks, helping scattered battlehounds find sanctuary. Yuna trained security forces, ensuring the Ghost Legion could protect itself from those who might see them as dangerous. And Wujin stayed as ambassador. Not because he was ordered, because Ghost asked him to. Because they were pack. The Verlaxian Empire tried sanctions, tried blockades. But other species supported the Ghost Legion. Trade flourished. Culture developed. What started as a rescue mission became a civilization. 2 years after Ghost's rescue, a ceremony was held on Sanctuary. The first generation of battle hounds born free. Not in tanks. No pain implants. No torture. Just children. Loved. And safe. Ghost stood before them, the eldest now, the founder. Beside Ghost stood Wu Jin. Older, but still stubborn. Still believing in doing right. "We gather to remember," Ghost said to the assembled crowd. Thousands of battle hounds, hundreds of humans, and representatives from 20 species. Remember, we were slaves. Remember, we were tools. Remember, we were left to die. The crowd was silent. But also remember who saved us. Not because they had to. Not because we earned it. But because humans have this strange belief. They believe everyone deserves a chance. Everyone has value. Everyone can change. Ghost looked at Wu Jin. One human medic found me dying in a crater. Could have walked away. Should have walked away. Instead, he stayed. He fought for me. He taught me that being made for war does not mean I must be war. Wu Jin felt his eyes getting wet. He did not hide it. So we remember, Ghost continued. Remember where we came from. Remember who we were. But more importantly, we choose who we will become. We choose to build, to heal, to protect the weak as we were once protected. We are the Ghost Legion. We are survivors. We are proof that kindness is not weakness. That compassion is not foolishness. That standing for what is right, even when difficult, even when dangerous, even when everyone says you should not. That is what makes us more than what we were made to be. The crowd erupted in sound. Not cheers. Something deeper. A howl. The ancient sound of Ghost's species. Forgotten for generations. Now reclaimed. That night, Wu Jin prepared to return to human space. His term as ambassador was ending. Others would take his place. You are leaving, Ghost said. It was not a question. For a while. But I'll visit. And you have my contact. Anytime. Anywhere. Is not same. No, Wu Jin admitted. But pack doesn't mean always being together. It means always having each other's back. No matter the distance. Ghost lowered its massive head, touching it gently to Wu Jin's forehead. An old gesture. One that meant family in the Battlehound's ancient culture. You saved my life, Ghost said quietly. You gave mine meaning, Wu Jin answered. They stood together one last time, watching the sun set on Sanctuary. A world of freed slaves. A civilization of survivors. A future built on one simple choice. The choice to help. Years later, when people asked Wu Jin about the Ghost incident, about the Battlehound he saved, he always said the same thing. I didn't save Ghost. Ghost saved all of us. Saved us from becoming the kind of people who walk away. Who choose convenience over conscience. Who see tools instead of people. Ghost taught us that humanity's greatest strength is not our weapons, or our technology, or our strategies. It's our stubborn, foolish, wonderful inability to look at suffering and do nothing. We stood in that depot, hundreds of us, ready to fight an empire for one abandoned soldier. Not because it made sense, not because it was smart, but because it was right. And in a galaxy where most species choose pragmatism over principle, where most civilizations value efficiency over empathy, that made all the difference. The story of Ghost became legend. Children learned it in schools. Diplomats referenced it in treaties. Soldiers carried it in their hearts. One human medic, one dying battlehound, one choice to help. And from that, a new future was born. A future where being human meant something more than just a species. It meant believing everyone deserves a chance. Everyone has value. Everyone can be more than what others made them. It meant never leaving soldiers behind, even the ones who did not start out as friends, even the ones the rest of the galaxy abandoned to die.